What is going on, everyone? We are back for another live. I am sick today, but I am here, and we're here to answer any questions you guys have. And we're live on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, all of the things. And I'm here with the amazing Ethan and Evan, and they're going to be answering most of your questions today, so I can rest my voice. It's going to be great. What's going on, guys? How are you?
I'm doing swell.
Awesome. How's everyone's week been so far? What have we been working on?
I have been working on getting better at tracking my KPIs.
I saw your little thing on Instagram. It was like spreadsheet.
Dude, so yeah, I got another spreadsheet in to kind of get a little bit more in depth, and I'm kind of transferring over from another one, but like also going back, transferring all of that, and then also finding things that I missed.
Yep.
It's a process, but I'm probably 50% of the way through it.
I remember when Ethan and I first started, we literally were tracking everything on a spreadsheet. We didn't even have a CRM, bro. Like we were just like all the CRM stuff you see us implement for clients now, we didn't even have that. We just had literal spreadsheets, and we're like, where's this lead and where's this?
We used to share stuff in the notes app with each other.
Yeah. We share. It's like as unorganized as that is, right? It's awesome. What are you tracking specifically? Like, what are some of the things?
So because the strategy that I'm running right now is more like DM heavy, I'm tracking, the obviously, ad spend, and then inbound and outbound versus, new followers and what's coming in through paid. And then, the percentages of what's turning into conversations, what's turning into book calls, just the whole gambit. And then there's the sales aspect of it too, of, when you have the book calls, what's happening there. So it's a whole process, but once you get it up to date, and if you just do it every day, it stays up to date. That's the thing that I got myself in trouble with, was like you skip 2 or 3 days and then it's like, but
I'll
work on automating it,
man. Like business is literally just a bunch of spreadsheets and numbers. That's literally all it is. It doesn't matter how you feel. It's inputs and outputs. That's all it is. Right. So it really just comes down to like, how are we tracking those things, and how are we making sure that everything is in line and tracking correctly?
Yeah, I'll get it automated too, much like of our end of day reporting. That we do. Like I'll get a form made and just have it plug in everything. I don't have to do anything too crazy. So
Yep. Yeah, that's huge. Always. Which kind of leads me to the next point too. It's like, if you guys are not tracking stuff in your business, then how do you know what to improve? Right. It's like when I wanted to, get in better shape, I just started tracking my macros, and then I could see like what I was eating every day. I was like, oh, I'm not getting enough protein, or I'm not getting enough carbs, or whatever it may be. Right. And it's like the same thing with your business. It's just like tracking things. And I think a lot of times we've all been guilty of this, but it's like, sometimes you just don't want to look because it's bad. It's like when you don't want to look at your bank account because it doesn't look very good, but like that's when you should look at it twice or 3 times or 4 times, right? It's like, oh shit, like, because whatever you focus on is where you're going to start improving. And by simply just tracking something, I can get people to improve stuff all the time by just simply tracking something.
100%.
Right? So like 100%. That's where, I mean, and you guys, I know we have some people on Instagram, some people on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Drop some comments or questions you have below around like, what should you track? Like, what are you tracking? How are you tracking? Right? Like, ask us questions around that. We're happy to answer that. Someone asked, is that the viral Costco wall of wood? No, I built that myself, but I have to see whatever this Costco wall of wood is, dude.
It looks pretty similar.
I built this myself, but
Eric,
I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. I love it.
Costco copied Eric.
Yes, Costco copied me. It was my idea originally. So exactly. But yeah, like, what were you tracking when you first started, Evan? Like, what were some of the things you tracked?
Man, ultimately, I mean, one of the first major things was like, I needed to know how much I was spending every day. Right. So I would really track that. And then I would track, like outreaches.
Yep.
Right. And whether that came from me doing it cold, or whether that came from me doing, or, through my inbound options as well, but also tracking the amount of touches that I had with the lead, like that came from my paid stuff, just to know where I was with that as well. But now I'm getting really granular on, what's leading to like the next step, and like, because between every step, there's little sub steps that you don't really realize that are there. So trying to fit those back into, the overall things that I'm already tracking is just kind of what I'm trying to get a little bit more granular on.
Yeah, I mean, we started using a couple of years ago a tracking called Hyros, and that's huge, right? So like it is really interesting to see someone's journey, right? Yeah, is there a software that you use to track this stuff? Yeah, it's a good question. For most people, Kairos doesn't really make sense until you're doing a couple $100,000 a year. But like you can mimic that with Sheets and all that. But all of that to say, like the reason we track that stuff is just because like we can see that someone comes from an ad and then they go look at our organic content and then they go to our YouTube content, right? So like if you're a video production company and you're not making content like on social or on YouTube, then like you're leaving a lot of money on the table because like ads is only like a way to get people into your world. The organic stuff is what's actually going to convert them over the long term and turn them into a client and get them to trust you, right? No one like, unfortunately, it's not 2015 anymore. Nobody just like sees a Ty Lopez ad and like clicks on it and then buys it immediately. And like Ty's cool. Like, yeah, one of my buddies, Eli, went on like a mastermind with him. He's super cool guy, super smart. But like people don't buy that way anymore, right? So like you have to, if you're going to run an inbound system, you also have to have organic to complement it, which is what we obviously help our clients with. But it's like running a bunch of traffic to a website that has nothing on it, right? So like the website that has nothing on it is your organic presence. And if you don't have an organic presence, then like you have to start building that up. You know, so like that's absolutely huge. Is there a software you use to track this stuff? Yep. Like I said, we use Hyros. You don't have to use Hyros. I think it's like a couple $100 a month. So like, it doesn't always make sense for everybody, but you can also just track manually using spreadsheets as well. Let's see. What other questions?
Well, and kind of going back to that, Eric, I'll add on to like the tracking ability. I mean, analytics is analytics. Like a lot of, I mean, the platform tools, they have the analytics portions built in.
They already have them built in. Yeah. So you don't need to.
So it's like if you know like what to plug in certain points to get to that end goal, that's the trickier part.
Yeah.
But the analytics is, I mean, like we use Metricool in the program, right? Like that I've been using that for half of what I've been retracking all day. It's like I go in there and I just find what I need and I plug it into my sheet like I need to. Yeah. So it's like it's there. It's just you put the data in and you just follow the things. It's tedious. I could probably pay somebody to do it, but
hire a VA. But I think the biggest takeaway is like a lot of people are just tracking their emotions and they're not actually tracking data. And so like novice, beginner business, people who own a business owners are tracking how they feel day in and day out. And they're not tracking the actual numbers, right? Like how you feel and what's actually happening are usually completely separated. Like it doesn't matter, right? All it matters is like how many leads, if you're trying to get more clients, how many leads are you generating every week, right? We talk to people all the time. They're like, yeah, I'm generating like two leads a month. And how much do you want to hit every month? I want to hit 20K a month. It's like, well, it's very unlikely you're going to hit 20K a month if you're only generating 2 leads a month, right? Like it's very impossible. Because like if you want to make more money, it just becomes how many leads do I need? How many of those leads turn into calls, right? And then of those calls, how many of those do I close? And then for what price point? So like if you need 100 leads and 10 of them turn into calls and then you close 2 of them and each one of them is $10,000, then there's your 20K a month right there. Like it doesn't have to be some crazy like magic. Oh my God, it's 20K a month. It's like, it's just numbers, guys. Right. And oftentimes it's just compressing the timeline as well. Like if you made 20K in 3 months, well, if you want to make 20K a month, you need to do everything you did in 3 months in 1 month. Right. And if you can't do that manually through outreach or whatever method you're using, then maybe it's time to switch methods or try a method that's more efficient to get more leads. Right. So, I mean, Ethan, maybe you want to talk about that too, but it's not like if you want to hit 100K a month, again, it's just numbers. How many leads do you need? How many calls do you need? How many clients do you need? Right. And then it's a numbers breakdown no matter where you're at.
If you took 5 calls a month to get to 20K, then just take in 3 months.
Theoretically, you need to take 10 calls.
Or 15 calls next month. And then, maybe you take 20, right? It just it depends on closing rate, right? But
and then it's just reverse engineering. Like, how do I get 20 calls in a month, right? Okay, well, I probably can't do a bunch of outreach because it takes me 100 cold outreaches to get 1 call. Well, I probably am not going to do, what is that? 2,000 outreaches in a month. I don't have the time. So I need to find a better way, like an inbound system, to get people who are ready to talk to me already on my calendar. And then it's how can we make that more efficient at the end of the day, So if you guys are here, drop a comment down below. Let us know what questions you have, like where you're at in your video business. We're happy to answer that. And we got you guys for another 18 minutes here. So 2:30 is when we're ending. So if you guys have questions, drop them down below and we are happy to answer them. Let's see what we got. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it really does just come down to like, how can you get more leads and how can you get more calls? But Evan, what are some things people run into when they hop on your coaching calls? Like, what are some of the common things?
So I think anybody that obviously runs ads for the first time, a little bit of panic can set in sooner than they anticipated. We see a lot of people, they'll spend 50, 60 bucks and they'll say like, is everything working the way that it should? Because I'm not seeing anything. And it's like, okay, just hold on. Like, you got to spend a little bit more. I know that we're dealing with a couple of people right now who are like, is this on the right track? Am I doing this right? If you've set up everything and we've told you that it's right, give it some time. Right.
Yeah.
I think, and one thing that you instilled in me a long time ago, and, you know, other people, big creators, you know, Hormozi does all this stuff too, where it's, you can fail and fail and fail and fail. And then when you get that one, it makes up for all the ones that didn't make sense before.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's what a lot of people, all they see is what's happening like right now. And they don't see, well, okay,
Yeah.
even if it took us $1,000 in spend for you to land that 10K client, I mean, it made up for everything that we did before. And that goes back to what you were saying earlier about feelings.
Yep.
Right. You feel like it's not working because you see this money leaving your bank account.
Yeah.
Right. But eventually one day you're going to get that right connection with that right person, that perfect fit for your services. You're going to have that call. Everything's going to go just like it should. And then you're going to have a new client and you're going to make 10 grand.
Well, and it's also, it's a lot of new people when they start running ads, they get very emotional about it. And they're like, oh my God, I spent 50 bucks. I didn't get anything. It's like, you have to think of it in terms of your investing in data to figure out what's working and what's not. And then once we find the thing that's working, we double down on it. Right. It sounds simple, but a lot of people get very emotional. They're like, I spent $100 and I only got a couple leads. It's like, we need to look at the data, look at what the cost per click is, look at what the click-through rate is, look at what the cost per lead is, look at the quality, right? And then we just tune that in. And that's something that we work with our clients on, obviously. And we tune that in to make sure that it's working. And then it's also having the follow-up systems. Like, do you have an email list? Are you sending email broadcasts every day? Do you have organic content? Because like, you want to think of like, ads are putting these people into a bucket, right? And then like, whatever you do with them in that bucket, email, organic, YouTube videos, nurturing content, you get a certain amount of people out of that bucket based on how much nurturing content you give them. If you just run an ad and then expect someone to pay you, very unlikely that's going to happen the first call, right? So you have to show them case studies and show them examples of what you've done and show them different things to help them get over the line and start to know, like, and trust you, right?
Totally.
And the benefit to that is now you have an unlimited tap that I can fill my bucket up with as many people as I want, whenever I want, because I've figured out how to master this acquisition channel. Whereas when you have referrals, you just kind of are holding your bucket, waiting for someone to like throw something into it, right?
100%.
So that's where that hope and pray marketing is that. And then like having a predictable system is where you can actually control the flow, right? Because any big business, any real business has a predictable way to get clients.
100% agree with that.
Yeah. Let's see. Our company specializes in brand stories that range from 2 to 5 minutes and then break that down into micro content for the client. Does your program work well for clients or for companies that do this type of content? That's pretty much what most of our, like, we have, how many people do we have? Let me look in Slack in our program right now. We have 290 active clients right now.
Yeah.
I would say 290 of them do that. Like most of
them. As a baseline, for sure.
As a baseline. And
then
that
can't be the only micro content you put out.
Yeah.
Right. And so then you can expand into other areas. And that's something we'll help you with as far as like, what other services can I offer to boost the LTV, to make more money per customer, to be able to do all that. Right. And so like, that's where we'll help you with those types of things. But it really does come down to like, that's what most of our clients offer. But remember, you're not selling the brand video. You're selling what the brand video does for the client. You're selling the result. Evan, I'm going to let you take over for a second. I need to get a drink of water here before I
you just put you on the spot.
I know, right? No, I don't. Let me get my notes out here. No, no, I mean, so kind of not to backtrack or anything, but we were talking about, you know, I was talking about earlier tracking the KPIs, and then we were talking about ad spend and, you know, getting all of that.
Yeah.
To give an example of that, like I was looking at my stuff earlier in the last almost 2 months of just spend that I've done through my budget. We're roughly about $1,500 in spend with 2 close clients at a $14,000 revenue generated. So it's like you got to have faith in the system, and the system will work, right? Like,
and you also just have to understand that like you're probably going to pay 10% acquisition cost, right?
100%, yeah.
So then we just build your packages in a way where you have 70% margins. So then that 10%, you factor that in, right? Obviously, and you're making plenty of money, right? So it's just like it's if you could put $1,000 in and make $12,000 back, I would make that trade every day of the week and twice on Sunday, right?
Yep.
So like I would literally put, and that's what we do, right? And we still do that. So it's like, how can I we're building an ATM basically that we're I heard this from somebody. I love it. It's like we're building an ATM that we're installing into your video business that will print you money. And once you figure out, how to hook the ATM up, how to get the screen working, how to get everything, and that's what we're going to help you with, right? Once that thing's working, you put $1 in, you get $10 out. You get $1 in, you get $5 out, right? So it's like, that is what we're trying to build. And that's what we build with our clients so they can put $1 in and get $10 out, right? Or in your case, what is that, like a 7 to 10x ROAS?
Yeah, roundabout. I'm not good at mental math. So
you're not going to get that return in the stock market. You're not going to get that return from referrals. Like referrals are great. I love referrals. They're easy closes, but you cannot, like, there's no way to crank it up, right?
Yeah.
Like you could go to a bunch of networking events, but it's a lot of work, right? So that's ultimately what we're building, is we're trying to build that, put this money in, get this money out, right?
Yeah.
And then you have happy clients, you do a good job, clients then pay you again. So like if I get a client, for $10,000, maybe after that first project, I renew them for another 20,000 or another 30,000. So then I paid maybe $1,000 to actually make $40,000, right? When you extend that LTV. And so why this is why it's so important. Like most of you guys watching this are really focused on like, I have really good fulfillment, I have really good work, but you haven't mastered the marketing and the sales side. And that's what's super, super key. That's what's actually going to take your business to the next level, not focusing on all the fulfillment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Hopefully that makes sense. Simply Gold Productions. Let me know. And let me know if you have any other questions too. We're happy to answer anything you got. I'm probably going to turn that over to Ethan and Evan for a second while I step out. Let's see. Let me pull up a couple other questions here. What other kind of content do people typically offer, Evan?
So content that you can offer is, I mean, again, we're talking about micro content. There's even the sub genres of what that looks like, right? So you have like all your educational stuff. You have your kind of, and everybody has their own terminology and language around this. And I've come to discover that people operate that way because, like, I'll talk to another creative videographer and they'll mention a word maybe that I've never heard of, and then they'll show me an example, and I'm like, "Oh, you mean a sizzle reel or whatever, right?" But somebody else might call it a highlight, something or whatever. So, anything micro content for socials is good. Testimonials are really good. They're harder to fulfill on in terms of just scheduling. That's my biggest thing that I've seen with on not only myself, but other people, because you're relying on your client to be able to set all that up if they're the ones that want to do it. I've asked some of my clients, hey, if you just give me their direct, I'll, do it. That's not really a big deal. Because I want to make sure that it gets done. I don't want it to sit, and because my deliverables don't lapse, right? Like if the month ends and we haven't gotten it done, it's gone. But that's just, that's a part of the deal. FAQ videos for websites are really good. They'll take over the way in which people are now consuming more information in a video format. So rather than having somebody go read all your stuff, you can do that.
And I think all that to say too is like I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a video content agency. Like there is literally so many businesses that have no clue what they're doing on social and with their content online, right? So it's like there are literally 33 million small businesses in the United States that need content like this. So like if you are not creating content for businesses, like in my opinion, there is no better niche than creating content for businesses. Like weddings are cool, that's fine. Music videos, probably not. They're very cheap and you get paid nothing. Right. Like all of that to say, there's never been a better time to create content for businesses, because like these guys need it and they are willing to pay you tons of money for not that much work, right?
Yeah.
I know you posted on your story, Evan. It was like, you know, for most of these packages, our clients are shooting 1 day a month for these guys,
Yeah,
right?
like
1 day a quarter sometimes if you plan
Yeah.
it correctly. So it's
Yeah.
like, why would you not get paid 5 to 10K a month to go out 1 day, either a month or a quarter, and get that recurring income coming in every single month, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely huge.
That's what I'm trying to optimize everything that I do around, is the shooting fulfillment, because
Yep.
passing it to an editor, that's done. Like I've gotten that, you know, in my workflow, but
Yep.
if I can shrink down the time it takes for me to shoot for people, like that's what I'm trying to maximize the most that I can right now.
Yeah, it's just taking those things, passing it off, taking those
Yeah.
things, passing it off, right? Simply Gold, in terms of niching down, how many industries should a video company niche down to? Good to focus on just one or two, or create offers for as many high-paying industries as possible. Ethan?
Just one.
Just one. Why?
Because, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons, but, you know, one reason is, you know, if you set up an inbound system, you're going to have to make two, right? You have to have two funnels, two sets of ads, two sets of
sales scripts,
two sales scripts, two offers, two client avatars, just double everything.
You can make millions of dollars, and we've done this in one niche. Like you can literally make millions of dollars in one niche. So like more is not better here. Like spreading yourself thin but an inch deep is not the goal. Like the goal is to be you know, an inch wide and a mile deep, and very knowledgeable, and you need to be framing yourself as the expert in the industry, and the only way you do that is by focusing on one, right? Focus. And we've had clients who make tons of money in just one niche, right? So I would focus on one specific industry, and we give those to our clients. We show them what those are. I would be focusing on one specific industry and then doubling down on that. But Evan, I'm sorry I cut you off. What other kind of content?
Oh, no, I mean, no, you're good. Other kinds of content, man. I mean, I think for one thing that I know, like one of our clients does, is he doesn't even do marketing content. All of the stuff that he does for his clients is internal, to streamline their internal processes, from onboarding or
It was Gabriel, right? The one I just did the case study with.
For who?
Gabriel?
No, it's Gabriel. For Z, for Zernal.
Z. Yeah, I just did the case study with Z. He did the 9K a month contract.
Yeah, he's not doing any like inbound marketing, you know, video stuff. He's doing all internal working stuff just to streamline systems and processes for, you know, the niche that he's going after.
And they're literally paying him $9,000 a month every month.
Yeah.
Goes out one day, right? Easy.
Yeah.
Done.
Like
it's a $27,000 for 3-month contract. And then he's working on, he said they're probably going to renew for 20K a month after that.
Yeah, that's what he said he anticipates that it's going to be at when he renegotiates.
But it's like, it's one client can change the entire trajectory of your business. Right? It's like you literally don't need a lot. You just need to be really good at what you do. And we help you guys with that, obviously. And it's like, you need to have, like, if you can see how you can very quickly get to 100K a month if you had $10,000 a month contracts, right? Again, kind of what we were saying in the beginning, but it's like, it's just breaking down the math. It's not crazy. It's not unreasonable for people to be able to hit that, right? We've had people hit that. We have clients in our program doing 50K a month already, right? And then they want to strap the boosters on and go even higher. So I think that's the key there, like you said. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Michelle, do you partner with clients? Example, coworker space wants to offer a content space. We would be the video source or vendor for the space. Ethan's shaking his head. Why are you shaking your head?
Because you're relying on another business to generate leads for you.
Yep. Yeah, you need to own that process yourself. And this also goes to people who are like, hey, Evan, can't I just hire a marketing agency to do this for me, dude? Like, I don't have an offer that's working or proven. Like, can't I just hire an offer? Like, can I hire a marketing agency?
I mean, you can. You can do anything that you want to do.
Yep. Okay.
But I told this to I have a Thursday call with a guy that is my small group at church, right? And he's wanting to learn the tactile side of videos, right? And he was kind of positioning me to like maybe help him out with that in terms of paying me or whatever. And I was telling him, I was like, you could go buy you know, a course online and whatever, but if you want to get into videos so that you can build a video business, you're going to have to learn things like, editing and all of these different factors. Now, you don't have to spend 10 years and become a master editor or whatever, but you need to understand enough so that when somebody approaches you to maybe take that task away from you, that you know that you're not being taken advantage of or wasting your money, that they know what they're doing, because you're able to your BS meter can kind of be relevant. If you don't know anything about anything, then you just literally have to blindly follow and trust somebody. And it just doesn't usually work out if you don't know a little bit about something. Yeah. So, you don't have to come into a program like this and be a master marketer or anything like that. Like, you don't have to be a master media buyer to run what we do. You just have to test a bunch of stuff and understand and
literally it's actually easier for you guys to run ads, because like the biggest thing that makes an ad work is the creative, and you guys already know how to do that, right? So like that's why I love working with you guys to create ads for your own companies, because like it literally you already know how to do that. The reason most marketers suck is because their creative sucks, right? So like you really need to be focusing on, like, that's what we help you with, but it's like the creative is king. All the little buttons and settings, we have that already set up. We'll just plug it in, right? It's very easy. Like we'll just plug it into your business, say, hey, do this, and then we'll help you with the creative, right? So it's very, very simple. Question over here on Instagram. Last week I was here and I was told I should create more content that shows results of my work, not just the work itself. Do you have any tips on how I can go about this? I am a 3D product photographer. Okay, so you're a 3D product photographer. The question you need to be asking yourself is, what is the actual result you're getting your clients? Why do they pay you for 3D product photography?
What's the problem that you're solving?
What problem are you solving? What results do they get when they implement your product photography? Why are they paying for it? And I think a lot of people would be in a better spot if they actually understood why and what problems they solve with their content. Like I was listening to Teddy, one of our clients was talking at I believe it was at like a college or something, and he was talking about like how to get paid more in a job. It's like
he did a TED Talk.
Yeah, he did a TED Talk on it, and he was like, the way you get paid more is by actually understanding what problem you're solving for your clients, right? So it's like, if you don't know why you're doing it, that's a huge red flag. And sometimes we talk to people and they're like, why? Like, what is the result that these guys can expect? And they're like, I don't know. It's like, well, that's a huge problem. Like you're selling them the result. It's like getting on a plane and not knowing where it's going. It's like, I'm buying a ticket on a plane, but I don't know where the heck I'm going. It's like, you don't know where you're going. Ethan, you're gonna say something?
I was gonna say, yeah, Jim doesn't sell you on the type of equipment they have.
Yeah, the gym doesn't care. They sell you on like getting in better shape, right? So you're selling the outcome, not the deliverables. So what does your content do? What problem do you solve? And if you don't know what that is a huge problem. You need to take some time and really reflect and figure out what is that thing. What was the problem that you're solving, right?
Yep.
Because if you don't know, then you can't craft marketing around selling them on the result if you don't know what the result is. And it can be indirect, direct, doesn't matter, right? Some people are like, well, I don't run ads, so I can't I can't promise a result. It's like, you absolutely can. So it's like, what is the result? So hopefully that answers your question. I would just ask yourself what problem that actually solves, and then we frame content around that problem. So like if, for example, they're hiring you because they want to increase their conversion rates on their websites for their products, right? Which is probably why they're hiring you. Then we talk about how one of your past clients implemented this and saw a boost from 1% to 5% on their website, right?
Go back and ask your clients. Go get it.
That's the easiest way. It's like, hey, what did this content do for you? Yeah. How would you go back and ask them?
Yeah. How did you, benefit from XYZ type of content? What kind of results did you see? What were you struggling with before? And there's your answer right there.
Yeah, exactly. Let your clients tell you, right? Cool, guys. Well, that's our time today. If you guys have any other questions, drop them down below real quick. We'll answer them real quick. And then I need to get some tea because I need to feel better here. So
get that warm tea in you, brother.
Yes, sir. Let's see if there's any other questions before we wrap up here. Checking Instagram, checking YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Going once, going twice. If you guys want to learn more about what we actually do, thanks, guys. Absolutely. You got it. Simply Gold Productions. You can go to masterfilmmaker.com. This is some of our coaches here at Master Filmmaker, Evan, Ethan, myself. We have other people who are not here. because they're actually working and coaching their clients and not slacking off like us. But if you guys want to learn more about what we do, you can go to masterfilmmaker.com, and we will talk to you there, and you'll talk to one of my stunt doubles, and we'll see if we can actually help. So if you guys need anything, let us know. Everybody have a good rest of your week, and we will see you in the next one.
Got a good thing coming, and it's all I